Hey everyone, welcome and thanks so much for joining me. This is Heather Lloyd Martin and I'm CEO of SuccessWorks SEO Copywriting. And today is yet another installment in our How to Start an SEO Copywriting Business video series. I want to talk about contracts because for new freelancers, getting a client to sign a contract can be a really scary thing. Here you are so close to getting the gig and then you're asking for their signature and you think, "Oh my goodness, are they going to sign the contract? Is something going to go wrong?" So I wanted to address if copywriters really need to work with a copywriting contract. And the short answer is yes. On the left-hand side, I have a photo of Judge Marilyn Milian from the People's Court. I love watching the People's Court, and she tends to reference a lot that the people that come into her courtroom are the ones that don't have contracts or don't have good contracts. She calls them litigants. And even though a contract seems scary and it seems maybe even too formal, depending on your clients, they're actually really good. They're good for not just you, but they're also good for the client because it protects both parties. It spells out the terms and gets everyone on the same page. What you're going to be writing, when you're going to turn it in, when you're going to get paid, what your policy is for revisions. All of that stuff needs to be clearly spelled out on a contract, and I'll talk about more details on that on a future video. Now, sometimes a client doesn't want to sign one. I have talked to folks that will say things like, "Well, I've been in business for 30 years and I've done everything on a handshake and I'm not going to start signing contracts now." If you hear that from a client, and chances are you're going to hear that at least once in your career, consider that a big, huge red flag and consider walking away because at that point you don't have much to protect you and a lot of things can go wrong. In fact, in the times that I've heard of something going majorly wrong with an account and the copywriter didn't get paid, a lot of times they didn't have a good contract or any contract at all, and that ended up coming back to bite them. So, another question I get that's related to this is should you sign a client's contract? Especially when you're working with larger brands, then the client might have their own contract. Now, ideally, I would recommend that you have your own. You talk to an attorney, you have him or her draw something up. I know that sounds expensive, but it's really important and it doesn't cost that much money to do it. So really consider that, especially considering that you're going to be attracting lots of clients in your lifetime and you want to be working with a document where you know that you're covered and your client is covered as well. But say the client gives you the contract. My advice to you would be don't just blindly sign no matter how excited you are about the gig. I have seen many copywriters sign stuff and then go back and realize, wait, this contract says that I'm not going to be paid for 6 months. True story. Or this contract says that if they don't use something that I've created, then the client doesn't have to pay for it. Another true story. So really go get in there and read what it is that the client is saying. And a lot of times these things can be negotiated. So if you see something you don't like, speak up. In a perfect world, you are sending contracts to your attorney and you're having him or her review that contract and make any necessary changes. Again, it can be scary because you think, oh goodness, that's going to cost a lot of money, but it really doesn't. It typically takes them maybe 10 or 15 minutes of time to go through and redline an agreement, and then you can make sure that your interests are protected. And then a lot of times when you send that back to the client, they sign off, everything is fine, and it's a win-win for both parties. But really concentrate on getting a good contract and find someone that you can work with, an attorney, have them create a document or at least have them look over your current contracts, and that should be really good for you moving forward. So if you want to learn more about contracts, I had actually one of the podcasts in the Copywriting Business Boot Camp is talking to an attorney about contracts and what should be in them and how to go about making one and creating one with an attorney. You might want to check out my Copywriting Business Boot Camp at SEOcopywriting.com. And if you want a little tidbits of what's involved with the course, you can send an email to writeforincome@aweber.com, and we'll send you some emails with some good actionable tips of how you can boost your copywriting business. And also, if you would like more information about SEO copywriting, I encourage you to sign up for my free weekly newsletter. You can also get daily updates at seocopywriting.com. And of course, if you have any questions at all, any comments about today's video, or if you have any ideas for a future video, I would love to hear from you. You can reach me at heather@seocopywriting.com, or you can find me on Twitter at @heatherlloyd. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care and have a fantastic day.